The 19th century was a time of fundamental ideological change in human history. The 20th century was the bloodiest of all times. It seems a blessing that the world is largely at peace now, and people have much better living conditions compared to just a few decades ago. There's welfare for many in need, multiculturalism is more widespread, advanced technology more available, and we are more sexually liberated. It seems like more people have more freedoms and can finally enjoy life. But why does it feel like imminent disaster is in the air? Why can't people have peace of mind and enjoy their blessings? Let's take a step back and consider why ISIS is acting up, mass migration taking place, and protests blooming all over the world. How do we understand the United Nations stating that the number of people on Earth must be reduced by whatever means necessary? That democracy is a poor political system for fighting global warming, and communist China the best model. The 19th and 20th century set the scene for the crisis we are in today that could have serious consequences on our future lives and freedom. Let's not follow any hidden agenda and decide for ourselves. Let's become aware of the ideology that drove the course of history for the past 2 centuries. Firstly, the Industrial Revolution, which took place between 1760 and 1840. During this time, people's living conditions improved, making them feel more in control of their fates. There was progressive talk of liberating man from misery. People in ancient times believed in divine fate, that gods were in control of everyone's destiny, and that doing good things brings rewards and doing bad things results in punishment. From now on, mankind will gradually start to believe that it has the means to control its fate by improving its material condition. People gave up being virtuous and focused more on immediate gains. The French Revolution lasted from 1789 to 1799. Under the guise of liberating man, it established a secular republic that became increasingly authoritarian and militaristic. Aiming to get rid of religious beliefs, thinkers promoted materialism and the idea that matter is the fundamental substance in nature. All phenomena, including mental phenomena and consciousness, are results of material, visible interactions. This was challenging the idea that man was divinely created, pushing towards the belief that the world is a physical, happy coincidence. This explains why a blasphemous mass proclaiming a dead revolutionary, Chalier, to be the God's savior who died for the people, could be held in a church in Lyon in plain daylight. Stefan Zweig, in his biography of Fouché, describes this as an orgy of atheistic exuberance. Crucifixes were torn from all the altars, and all pious emblems were taken away. A huge crowd carrying Chalier's bust and 3 proconsuls were there masquerading with chalices, holy images and other items stolen from churches. Behind them was a donkey wearing a bishop's mitre on its head. A crucifix and a Bible had been tied to its tail to be dragged in dirt. The red flag, symbolizing blood of the revolutionary martyrs, was first used by the Jacobins during the French Revolution. Blood rituals have been central to all black religions throughout history, but usually people sacrificed animals in ancient times. From now on, it's humans who are being sacrificed on the altar of liberating man, and today people unwittingly worship these martyrs on various national red flags. A little bit later, in 1825, a British industrialist, Robert Owen, established an experimental collective community based on the principle of equal treatment for all in New Harmony, Indiana, USA. After 2 years, people started to leave as the experiment could not work. Owen thought he was a second messiah, and he developed a theory called environmental determinism that later became the fundamental idea of socialism, that human character can be molded. He wrote, "I now declare to you and to the world that man, up to this hour, has been, in all parts of the earth, a slave to a trinity of the most monstrous evils that could be combined to inflict mental and physical evil upon his whole race. I refer to private or individual property, absurd and irrational systems of religion and marriage, founded on individual property, combined with someone of these irrational systems of religion." Back in England, he built gathering places called halls of science, where thousands of people attended religious-like meetings that promoted equality and brotherhood and spoke against those three evils mentioned before. Friedrich Engels started to attend these meetings in the halls of science and wrote articles that caught Karl Marx's attention. Engels and Marx met in Paris in 1844. The two wrote the Communist Manifesto, which was published in 1848. Marx declared that communists want to abolish family, private property, religion, and nation. Communists believe that all human behavior is the result of culture, not heredity or race, and is thus malleable. Everyone has to be the same in their new world. There is no room for individuality, and the state replaces the old gods. The state claims to create heaven on earth and calls it communism. This parasitic ideology took the existing system and turned it into its opposite, as it is not able to create anything new, but only bring destruction. Karl Marx admits in his poems that he is against God and pledges his soul to the devil, as the following quotes illustrate. I wish to avenge myself against the one who rules above. We make war against all prevailing ideas of religion, of the state, of country, of patriotism. The idea of God is the keynote of a perverted civilization. It must be destroyed. Thus heaven I forfeited, I know it full well. My soul, once true to God, is chosen for hell. If there is a something which devours, I'll leap with it, though I bring the world to ruins. Now the entire world is almost without nations, family, or religion. We have been moving in a Marxist direction for several hundred years. Lenin once said, first we will take Eastern Europe, then the masses of Asia. We will encircle the United States of America. History has been moving on the lines indicated by Lenin. We have unwittingly been practicing Marxism-Leninism across the world. Then, Darwin's Origin of the Species, published in 1859, provided a so-called scientific basis for socialism or communism. Darwin states that a species has to adapt in order to survive. Marx and Engels interpreted this hypothesis to fit their own agenda and used it to justify class struggle, turning a scientific issue into a political one. Darwin's theory was the means to spread communism among Western intellectuals. This theory was quickly accepted as truth and started being taught in public schools. It makes people believe that they are the same as animals, therefore they have no inalienable rights, but only the rights given by the state. Over 514 prestigious scientists from all over the world declared dissent from Darwin's theory. They said, "We are skeptical of claims for the ability of random mutation and natural selection to account for the complexity of life. Careful examination of the evidence for Darwinian theory should be encouraged." Lenin stated, "Give me 4 years to teach the children, and the seed I have sown will never be uprooted." If young minds are being taught Darwin's theory as fact, it will make them unable to look at things from any other perspective later on, crippling their ability to truly understand the world. When the revolution broke out in Paris in 1871, the Communard leader Gustave Flourens declared, "Our enemy is God. Hatred of God is the beginning of wisdom." The Paris Commune was the first insight into how the communist dream kills people. Between the 18th of March and the 28th of May in 1871, approximately 20,000 people were executed in Paris in the name of communism. Karl Marx described this as an example of the dictatorship of proletariat. The American ambassador Benjamin Washburn described the communards as brigands, assassins, and scoundrels. Rising up in Paris were scoundrels of the society who were paid to rise up. Today, there are many people rising up in a similar way. According to the United States military magazine Veterans Today, ISIS fighters are paid mercenaries who come from poor conditions. They are just paid actors on the world stage. In the next episode, we will consider these questions and more as we analyze the 20th century.